Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Full Mojo Rampage. Full Mojo Rampage kind of sounds like a full motion video game a la the Sega CD, or perhaps the Gunstringer DLC for Xbox Live Connect. Is that true, Northernlion? No, absolutely not, you dimwits. This is a roguelike-ish RPG, would maybe be how I describe it. If you want to describe it by merging two games together, it's like Diablo meets The Binding of Isaac. There's loot, and the loot is randomized, and there's some stat gain from items, and things are different every time. In any case, we're going to get started here. This is available on Steam Early Access for $17.99 for its opening week sale, which means by the time this video goes up, it'll probably be back to its normal price of $20. This game's got some interesting ideas. I'm not necessarily the largest fan of it so far, and, you know, I will admit... Oh god, what have I done? I will admit that roguelikes, at least the way I feel about them, is like the kind of my jam. I play a lot of them. I play a lot of roguelike games. I know people get anal about roguelike. I play a lot of roguelite games, shall we say. I don't necessarily play ASCII graphic roguelikes that are similar to Rogue. I play games that have procedurally or randomized generated elements. We've gained a new level. We can improve one of our stats. Let's improve damage. So, the way that this works is essentially this is our player character. This is our avatar. And kind of like The Binding of Isaac, you can choose whatever character you want. Let's put on this mask. I like this one a little bit more witch doctor-y from Dota 2. But yeah, you know, Baron Samedi, Geed, and Urzuli, kind of like your Cain, Judas, and Maggie. Like Baron Samedi, Loa of the Death and Lord of Resurrection. He's a real badass, powerful wizard and experienced in matters of love. Geed is a buff-type character. He has, like, totems. This guy's just, like, your all-around Isaac-type character. Geed has buffs, and Urzuli, I believe, is a little bit more high-damage character. Yeah, she's, like, the Judas of the game. In any case, we're gonna play as Baron Samedi for, like, the entire time, so that doesn't really matter that much. Let's get to some actual gameplay, but just before we do it, I want to point out we have 4 base stats. Health, attack power, damage, I guess, speed, and attack speed, and these are also augmented by pins. Now, these pins are kind of like runes from a League of Legends, or League of Legends, I should say, or gems from like a Street Fighter cross Tekken or Tekken cross Street Fighter. So essentially, these give us some little bonuses themselves. This one gives us an extra attack rate of plus 0.5. This one gives us extra health plus 30. This one gives us extra speed plus 0.5, which I do not have equipped. You can only have 2 equipped simultaneously. Why don't we take one that gives us an extra inventory slot? And why don't we also take the one that gives us extra attack rate? And we can also upgrade this for money, which you can see up here in the top left. So we'll upgrade this a couple times, and it'll increase our attack power a decent amount. Good. So, this is a game that has single player and multiplayer, but I'm not going to show off the multiplayer. So whether or not you're interested in that might depend on whether or not you're interested in the single player that we have going on here as well. But just know that it is a factor. You can join up with a friend or two and jump into the online multiplayer, which is similar to this, but co-op. Kind of like a Gauntlet Legends style thing. But anyway, this is our quest. Baron Samedi drank too much and left some portals open after a failed summoning. It's your duty to fix things and close all portals. If you do, you will gain Samedi's favor and earn a powerful ally. Explore each zone to fix this and find supplies to be prepared for anything. So what I really like about the game is its kind of style. So rather than be The Binding of Isaac or a Binding of Isaac influence game where, you know, you have one adventure and then specific floors that you go through and each floor is randomized, it kind of has like a world map that is generated every single time that we can use to plan the way we do things, almost in like a Mario Party style or something like that. But basically, we're here. When we beat this mission, we'll be able to go here. When we beat this mission, we'll be able to go here. And these will be, you know, it's more like Super Mario Bros. 3, because these are events or, you know, shops or weird instances that could possibly give us good items or possibly give us nothing. But let's just get, finally, to the actual gameplay here. So, there's 2 different levels that we encounter, mostly the cemetery and the dungeons. Largely, these just seem to be aesthetic things, but they also do cause different enemies to show up. So, it's also very twin-stick shootery, so it's kind of like Diablo meets The Binding of Isaac meets, I don't know, something like I made a game with zombies in it, or Robotron. Now, the roguelike elements in the game come to light once we actually start getting some loot. So these medallions are just going to let us do some character customization later. I'm just using the keyboard and mouse for this, by the way. I didn't think that there was native controller support when I played it for the first time. I may be mistaken, though. But you kill these guys, you'll pick up health and gold, occasionally metals, which you can use for customization. There is also experience, I believe, but it's not always conveyed. that clearly, so I'm not 100%. And remember, this is in development, so anything could change over the course of, you know, the time that I record this and the time the video goes up. Okay, so here's the first piece of loot that we've gotten. This is essentially a temporary buff that we can use for our wand to allow us to do more damage, and they have different properties. Sometimes it'll be like a piercing shot, sometimes it'll be a really high damage, slow moving shot. But what's interesting is that this is not a permanent upgrade. It's just a temporary one, and you can see if you look over on the bottom left, the very leftmost part of my inventory at the bottom, you can see how many shots I have left because the meter will deplete as we go on. So, our objective on this mission is pretty simple. We're just going to destroy all of the open portals, and we do have a nice little kind of map interface. Or we have indicators on our map that tell us where we should go. This is another temporary wand that we can just boot up here. One thing I want to point out is that this is an exceptionally difficult game, and it's almost Rogue Legacy-like in the sense that I don't believe you're meant to actually, like, beat the missions on your first attempt at them. I think you're meant to kind of grind a little bit and level up. So, you know, that's not necessarily an invalid way of dealing with things. It's just a little unusual, and it's something you need to know, I guess, when you get into it, because a lot of people didn't like that about Rogue Legacy. It didn't bother me all that much, but, you know, it wasn't a pure roguelike in the same sense that you start anew every single time, and you have the same chances every single time, except for the items that you get. So, we did pick up a piece of loot there. I just want to see what this is. This is a relic. Weapons last longer. Hey, that's a pretty good relic, actually. One thing that I dislike about this game, and, you know, it might be a personal issue, but it's that there's not as much customization or not as much variability run to run, at least right now, as there is in a, you know, an FTL or a Spelunky or something like that. It's, okay, so this is one of our objectives right here. It's much more kind of standard. Every run seems to be pretty similar. By the way, I do have a secondary ability with the right mouse button that has both a mana cost, you can see my mana under my health in the top left, and a cooldown, which is fairly easily represented. You probably don't need me to talk too much about that. But yeah, you know, you get different items every single time, but so far I have never encountered an item that was like, you know, it drastically changed. I've never encountered something like the Mom's Knife of full Mojo Rampage. It's always just been, you know, slight attribute bonuses, which is cool. I'm a boring dude when I play games like this. I always go for passive skills in games like Torchlight and Borderlands, which annoys the shit out of people a lot of the time, believe it or not. But what is this item we got here? Rampage Begins. I've never seen that before. But maybe that's the Mom's Knife of this game. But yeah, most of the time, I unfortunately just get kind of attribute bonuses, which don't really have demonstrable effects right away. I would prefer if there were some more kind of like spectacular items, or at least items that had a little bit more of a of an effect that's easy to notice. Like, I like what the Risk of Rain guys are doing, and, you know, we had them on for that interview on the NLSS a few weeks ago. Actually, it was a couple months ago at this point. Not the most recent time, but anyway. And they're like, we want to make sure that every item has an obvious effect, and we're going to specifically tell you what it is, but also you should be able to see it working in action. This game doesn't really do that. It's just kind of like, oh, your stats are better, take my word for it. You know, you can see the health bars, I guess, going down faster. Another thing I dislike, and this is something you can upgrade via a pin, but I kind of feel like it should just be standard, is that you have such a small inventory to start with. You only have 2 items. So we have one for Mojo Regen. What is this? Damage +1? Yeah, so I have to choose. Do I want health regen? Or sorry, Mojo Regen, which is our damage. Or sorry, our mana. Or do we want extra damage? Why can't I have both? That's part of what makes a game like... you know, Spelunky or the Binding of Isaac so much fun is that you can have all these items stacking on one another and having unique interactions with one another. How fun would Isaac be if, like, you have 2 damage upgrades and then you got a speed upgrade and it's like, okay, you got to choose one or the other. I mean, there are times in those games where it does that. You know, you can't have 2 active items at the same time. You can't have a jetpack and a cape at the same time. Those are fairly uncommon circumstances, whereas in this game, it's just a constant... struggle, because you're constantly choosing, what is this? No one can damage you for 10 seconds. That seems pretty awesome, but we don't really need it right now. But yeah, in this game, you're constantly juggling your inventory, which is fine. You know, it's a design choice that some people are going to like and some people are not going to like. I'm in the camp that doesn't really like it. I would prefer if there were more inventory spaces that you didn't have to upgrade so that I could have, like, weird interactions between the items. Maybe it's a user thing. I don't know. Attack rate plus 0.4 or weapons last longer. Let's take attack rate plus 0.4. Now we're just looking for the exit. And once we finish, we'll complete this mission. So that's one of my major concerns. Not major concerns, but major gripes about full Mojo Rampage, at least in its current state, is that every run kind of feels the same, which for a roguelike game is not necessarily the kiss of death, but it does detract from my enjoyment. Game's also pretty repetitive, but this I'm willing to chalk up largely to its kind of primitive state of development. It's not primitive state, sounds kind of like I'm being an asshole, but you know, it's early state of development. Where, you know, we're fighting the same enemies kind of over and over. Every quest is just kind of a variation. Like, it's just close all the portals or get to the end. We do have boss fights as well. But yeah, those are my two major gripes. Kind of repetitive gameplay so far, as well as the fact that every run feels basically the same. And, you know, those problems obviously feed off of one another and compound one another as well. But I really like this idea that you can have kind of like a world map that you can go through, and the experience is divided up into levels, which might sound small, but it's something that a lot of games like this don't really do. I guess FTL does it to a certain extent. So, let's see what we get here. This is another cool part. This is like an FTL style event that we can have. It doesn't show up all that often, but it's cool to have it. While traveling, I saw a man sleeping near a tree. I talked to him, but he didn't wake up. I noticed a strange aura of pain over him. I should enter his dream and help. I will enter the dream, or no too scary. I will enter the dream. Okay, this is the first time I've ever seen this. We're going to kill the nightmare, and hopefully we will succeed here. This is the first time I've ever seen this. I could totally foresee myself dying here. Well, not foresee myself, but totally see myself dying here. Where is the nightmare? I'm going to guess that that's the nightmare. So I guess we can enter people's dreams. I will say, you know, in case we don't get to another event, it's worth noting that the, let's use our rampage here. Oh my god, I've never seen this before. Can I take damage in this mode? Yes, absolutely, but I can also do a lot of damage as well. But I'm getting very low on health. I kind of prefer just being able to hit people from afar, because I think I'm going to die here. We do have a, oh, that was a health regen potion, which is good. That's a lot of damage, but it's also very worrying. I want to get away so I can do more damage from afar. There we go. So this actually seems more sustainable for me. But all the other adventures that all the other events that I've done so far have largely been like, here's a story, choose A or B, here's the effect that you get as a result of it. And that's totally cool. I love that in FTL, you know? Not knowing what the actual outcome of the event is going to be and having some like randomized chance. Oh, we do have a dodge as well, which I have not used at all yet, which I should use to avoid taking damage here. And I should use my secondary ability more often as well. Maybe that's why I'm finding the game so difficult. But in any case, this one's kind of cooler, I guess, even if I could definitely see myself getting sick of it over time. It's nice to have kind of a mini-boss fight in the middle here. We've completed the quest. We almost died as a result of it. I don't think your health replenishes. That's damage +1. I kind of like having our attack rate higher. I'll just drop this damage +1 down here. And again, why can't I pick... I went through the trouble of beating that boss. Why can't I pick up his item and hold it? It just doesn't feel right. It feels like oftentimes you're not really rewarded for these boss fight victories. Because there's no passive upgrades, necessarily. I mean, an item that we hold that gives us an attribute bonus is a passive upgrade, to be sure. That being said, it's not really passive if I have to give it an inventory slot. The only way to get other attribute upgrades that don't require inventory slots is to level up your character. So it's got kind of a weird RPG mechanic overlaid with this roguelike style. Doesn't really work for me, right now anyway. But again, that could be personal preference, which is why I always encourage you guys to check out other sources as well, and check out the game for yourself if you find it possible, just to see if it is up your alley and worth spending the money on for you personally. But anyway, let's go through here, and we're going to try to beat this level and then go to the boss fight, just to show off the boss fight. But honestly, it's kind of nice that we did go through that event and fight that mini-boss, because the boss fight is very, very similar, at least on the first quest boss fight. Should point out as well that there is only one quest available in the early access version of the game so far, and it's this one that you're seeing right now, obviously. But there are like 5 or 6 quests planned for the full version of the game. Seems like each one might take you about 45 minutes if you beat it on your first try. You won't, in all likelihood, unless you're substantially better than me. I mean, yeah, you don't even replenish health mission to mission here, so I am getting a little bit concerned. Oh, there's new enemy types here. Is one of these pills a health? Yes, okay, that's good. It's not pills, one of these potions. My mistake. There's new enemies. These ones are kamikazes that just kind of explode in our face, and also these ghosts that we'll encounter. So, you know, there are different enemies, but it's like level 1 always has the same enemies, level 2 always has the same enemies. Maybe that's not a fair criticism. That happens in a lot of other games as well, including all of the games that I've mentioned as contemporaries of this one. But still, there's only like 2 enemies of each type that you see so far in this game. The kamikaze is the most annoying enemy, like those bomb guys. That's a fairly standard enemy trope, obviously. Enemy type, maybe, is a more accurate way to describe it. So again, this is just destroy all the portals mission, or close all the portals, which is effectively destroy all the portals. Did we actually destroy that one there? I did. Okay, let's dodge out of the way. Pick up some extra Mojo potions. Oh, God, he was really close to hitting me there. That could have killed me. I hope that it wouldn't, but it could have. And again, you know, I guess it's up to you whether you want to destroy all these enemies every single time you come through. As far as my experience has gone so far, maybe this ties into why I find it so difficult, but enemies just seem to kind of spawn endlessly, so you could just grind if you want to. You could leave your friends behind if you want to, but I don't want to. I just want to... I want to accomplish the objectives. This is not team deathmatch. This is not let's grind all the experience as if this is a early 2000s era JRPG. For me, it's like I want to fight the boss. It's the whole reason I'm here. I kind of get tunnel vision for it, but I feel like I'm, you know, justified in that. Oh, this is a cool weapon. I like this one. This is the mom's knife of the game. Oh God, get out of there. We can fire it and then it comes back to us and it does high damage. So, you know, completely disregard what I said earlier. This is totally the mom's knife of the game. But it also has limited use. In this case, I kind of like it. I kind of like the limited use nature of the item. Because, if Isaac had something like this, I could pick up Brimstone or Mom's Knife, use it for a couple floors, and then people wouldn't be so mad because it wouldn't taint the entirety of the run. I picked up some kind of scroll there. What does it do? The scroll reads 717, 717. Okay. It's a good number, I suppose. B-52s might write a song about it at some point. And here is our last portal. Oh, the obvious problem with this is that I don't have the range necessary to do all the good stuff I want to do. Luckily, oh my God, I'm going to die. Almost certainly. Let's take care of some of these minor enemies. I will also take that potion that allows us to replenish our health, which is good, because if I didn't take that, I would have died. I'll use the scroll! I'm almost definitely going to die. Get out of the way. There's not much I can do here. That whiskey is a passive item that's just taking up space in my inventory. There's an item that gives me an extra critical chance. In all likelihood, this is going to be the end of my existence. I'm down to 9 health. One more hit will do it. I can't believe I didn't die there. And you don't really get that many HP or get that much HP back from enemies that you kill. You really need to kill a lot of enemies to get even close to it, like a usable amount of HP back. That's not even hitting this dude anymore, is it? What is this? Shoot bouncing projectiles. That's really useful. Okay, so we're doing a lot of damage here. Maybe we can actually take these guys out, and I might have a very small window to take out that portal. Again, as far as I know, enemies, they seem to spawn ad infinitum. So I don't know if that's absolutely 100% true. But so far in my experience, I've certainly encountered a lot of enemies after it seems like I had cleared out an area. But we'll see. Not that, like, that is the most major mistake to make anyway. So we'll switch to our other weapon here. This is like a mini-boss type dude, so hopefully I can just whittle him down. And then I'll be able to take out the portal, and the exit is right there. So really, I mean, it's still low odds for me. I really need to just not get hit at all, which is unlikely to work for me. Is that guy? He was still alive. Okay. And, oh, he dropped a health potion. There we go. Now we might actually have a chance. I pulled it back from the brink of despair thanks to some really lucky item drops. And hopefully this guy dies. Oh my God, our range is just a little bit too low. And we get a new staff, and I'm going to use that staff against the portal. And that was probably the most tense moment I've ever had in my time with Full Mojo Rampage so far. It's a game I don't hate by any stretch of the imagination, but I also don't really like it compared to other roguelike games in its current state. But, you know, things could change. I'm very surprised that I survived there. We'll go through the door, and we should be able to fight the boss. And if we beat the boss, we'll probably call it quits right there, because I don't want to show off the entirety of the full alpha here. Oh, there's another event for us. We should definitely check it out. But I don't want to show off the entirety of the alpha as it exists right now. I reached a place full of skeletons fighting a group of zombies. I should help the zombies. No, we're going to run away. Fuck that event, basically. Because I don't want to do another repetitive mission of exactly the same kind. So we'll enter up here. Who knows? Maybe the skeletons or zombies would turn on me. This is our boss room. This is where we fight the first boss, but it's not the end of the mission. Thanks for the 13 HP. You're far too kind. This is the best I've ever done, I think, at Full Mojo Rampage. But I have fought the boss once before. He's not that difficult. In fact, the boss fights, you know, I guess not totally dissimilar to Isaac. The boss fights are sometimes the easiest parts. The actual, like, standard creeps are sometimes the most difficult, which is, again, not that uncommon necessarily. I'm playing really badly against him so far. I very rarely use my secondary effect on big enemies. It does have knockback, which is nice, but against this guy, it doesn't really matter. We've already got him down to half health, and I should just be able to kill him pretty quickly. I like getting these damage buffs because it does improve the speed at which we'll... Oh, I'm almost dead. One more hit will kill me, and I need to hit him about 1,000 times. I don't have any more potions either. Ooh, that could have done it right there, and then also almost did it again with that projectile bounce. I didn't play as any of the other characters this time. And, you know, they have different abilities. Like, one of the characters was much more of a, like, you'd call him like an engineer class might be the standard kind of technical term for it. He just spawns traps and turrets and stuff like that and uses those to kill enemies. He has relatively low health himself. There's our boss fight done. That was really quick. And I haven't played as the lady yet, but she's more of a DPS style character, whereas the character we're playing as right now is more of a, you know, all around, I guess. Up, down, all around. What is this? I've never seen this tree trunk before. Bayou Swamp, enter. I'm not going to, actually. I'm just going to see if I can quit to the main menu here. So that's going to do it for my Let's Look At of Full Mojo Rampage. That is a very representative look of what my game has been like so far. We're going to go back to Quest 1. You can see that I've leveled up. Again, that wasn't really conveyed that often in the game. And now I have gold. Again, I can spend that gold to upgrade my pins. Like, maybe I want to upgrade the one that gives... Oh, you can't upgrade the one that gives you an extra inventory slot. I can upgrade my attack rate a little bit more. You can also, you know, there's other masks and whatnot. And other skills, actually, that you can buy. But I don't think I have enough medallions to actually buy it. You need 25, I think. I unlocked Crystal Bomb, but yeah, not enough for Arcane Fury. It's okay. That's how I feel about Full Mojo Rampage so far. It's just okay. The saving grace for this that I didn't show might be the multiplayer mode, but that's up to you. If you have friends that you can play with, maybe this will be more up your alley, but I find it a little bit repetitive. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know if I would feel comfortable convincing a few friends to get into the game with me at this price when it's currently $17.99 or $20, depending on when you're buying it, for an experience that I don't necessarily consider as anything really that novel or engaging as of right now. So, kind of unfortunate, because usually these games are kind of up my alley, but maybe it will be able to appeal to me more after it finishes development, or maybe they don't give a shit whether or not it appeals to me, and they have a group of fans who already love the game as is. I've seen a lot of people talking positively about the game. I don't know. Moment-to-moment gameplay just kind of bores me. In any case, as always, thanks for watching. There will be a link to the Steam store page in the video description if you're interested in checking it out. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.